In this video, you'll learn 7 simple steps to lower high blood pressure naturally and quickly. If you don't lower your blood pressure, you're increasing your risk for a stroke, heart attack, or heart failure. As a geriatric physical therapist, I've seen these more times than I care to count. It's so much better to prevent them in the first place. So lowering high blood pressure is an important problem to solve. Your blood pressure is high if it's anything greater than about 130/85. Anything greater than 120/80 should be a flag to make some lifestyle changes. If you're taking a medication like metoprolol, lisinopril, even if your doctor says it's for something else like your kidneys, you likely would have high blood pressure without it. So we consider that also a flag for lifestyle changes to lower blood pressure. As you improve your lifestyle to lower your blood pressure, things can change fast. You may need to lower your blood pressure medication dose to prevent your medication from overshooting. We recommend you check your blood pressure daily and be in communication with your physician about any symptoms of low blood pressure. These include confusion, lightheadedness, cold, clammy skin, or anxiety. If you have these signs, that may mean you need a lower medication dosage. To lower your blood pressure quickly, focus on lowering insulin and inflammation. Insulin resistance is a big cause of high blood pressure that not enough doctors are talking about. 88% of adults in America have insulin resistance and most have no idea. Often, high blood pressure is the first clinical sign of insulin resistance. In reality, insulin may have been rising for years behind the scenes, leading to this high blood pressure diagnosis. We'll link to a video in the end screen for this video that explains 5 connections between insulin and high blood pressure. By focusing on lowering insulin and inflammation, you have a lot more options to lower blood pressure than just reducing your salt intake. The first tip to lower blood pressure is to choose your carbohydrates wisely. There are 3 main types of carbohydrates: starch, sugar, and fiber. The most important type of carbohydrate to reduce in your diet is added sugar. This would include things like pop, candy, cakes, and cookies. It also includes natural sugars like honey, maple syrup, and agave. The sugar will raise insulin. The insulin will raise a hormone called aldosterone. Aldosterone will increase salt and water retention. This increases blood volume, which will raise blood pressure. This study looked at what happened when you replaced saturated fat with added sugars. Small, dense LDL, which is bad for blood vessel health, went up. HDL cholesterol went down, and HDL has long thought to be protective for heart disease. Triglycerides, blood glucose, leptin resistance, insulin resistance, and signs of liver disease all increased. So while saturated fat is often frowned upon, added sugar should be a far bigger focus for your heart health. The second type of carbohydrate to reduce in your diet is refined and processed starches. These are found in things like white bread, chips, pretzels, cereals, cakes, cookies, and crackers. These will also spike insulin and thus aldosterone and water retention. That's why you often feel bloated after a high-carb meal. The third type of carbohydrate is fiber. Whole food fiber is excellent for your heart health. When you eat fiber, it's fermented in your gut into short-chain saturated fatty acids. These have an anti-inflammatory effect. To get a list of high-fiber foods, you can download our Ultimate Food Guide at zivli.com/ultimate food guide, and we'll put a link to that in the description of this video too. The second thing to do to lower your blood pressure quickly is to reduce nicotine. This includes regular cigarettes and e-cigarettes. Nicotine gum also increases your heart rate and blood pressure. This study found that nicotine gum increased blood pressure within 10 minutes and it stayed elevated for 90 minutes. The third thing to do is to reduce caffeine. Like nicotine, caffeine is an addictive stimulant. It stimulates your sympathetic nervous system. This is part of your stress response during a situation where you might need to fight or flee. To fight or flee, your muscles and brain need more blood flow. That's why your blood pressure goes up under times of stress. This study showed acute caffeine intake directly increases blood pressure. While reducing caffeine may seem like a daunting task, in the long run you will reduce your total body stress and improve your sleep. The fourth thing to reduce is alcohol, especially in excess. Alcohol is toxic and inflammatory. While some research supports that red wine has heart benefits, it's actually the polyphenol compounds in the red wine that are helpful, not the alcohol. Moderate to large intakes of alcohol increase blood pressure, especially in those with diabetes. In this study, moderate was defined as 8 to 14 standard size drinks per week. So anything more than about 1 standard drink per day may increase your risk for high blood pressure. The fifth thing to do is to reduce your processed food intake, and this is for 2 reasons. The first is to reduce your sodium intake. A general goal for someone with high blood pressure is to have between 1,500 and 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. For contrast, 2 ounces of this Oscar Mayer turkey has 500 milligrams of sodium, whereas a large order of McDonald's French fries has 400 milligrams of sodium. I use this example because if you're only focused on the macronutrients of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, you're missing the sodium because sodium is a micronutrient. Micro means that we need it in small amounts. Sodium is an essential mineral that we need in small amounts, but too much contributes to high blood pressure. Everyone's sodium needs will be different depending on your climate, physical activity, and health. The second reason to reduce processed and fried foods is to reduce your trans fat intake. Trans fats were banned in 2018 by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. This was due to their high association with cardiovascular events, diabetes, and cancer. While they were banned, you can still find industrial or man-made trans fats in small amounts in processed foods. To claim 0 grams of trans fats per serving, manufacturers have to keep the real amount at less than 0.5 grams per serving. Many fried and processed food products have less than 0.5 grams of trans fat per serving, but if consumed over the course of a day or when consumed over the suggested serving size, this can really add up. The biggest source of industrial trans fats are fried foods. The high temperature used to make the canola and soybean oil used to fry the foods increase the trans fats in the oil, and the amount of trans fats in the oil increases with each fry. If you've ever worked in a fast food restaurant, you likely know that oil isn't changed very often. The sixth thing to do to lower your blood pressure is to increase your potassium intake to 3,500 to 5,000 milligrams per day. The more potassium you eat, the more sodium you lose through urine. Potassium also helps to ease tension in your blood vessel walls. This further helps lower blood pressure. Foods that are high in potassium include beans, lentils, potatoes, acorn and butternut squash, spinach, broccoli, avocado, bananas, cantaloupe, oranges, coconut water, tomatoes, dairy and plant milks, yogurt, cashews, almonds, chicken, and salmon. The seventh thing to do to lower your blood pressure quickly and naturally is to incorporate stress management techniques into your lifestyle. These include things to improve your sleep, optimize your physical activity, and reduce your stress. If you're struggling with sleep, the first thing we suggest is ruling out sleep apnea. This is a condition where your breathing gets interrupted at night. If you have sleep apnea, getting a CPAP can actually help reduce your blood pressure. If you're not already wearing amber-colored blue light blocking glasses 2 hours before bed, that's another go-to recommendation. While they look funny, they do work to help fall asleep and stay asleep. Adding meditation and deep breathing practices into your lifestyle can also help. These turn off the sympathetic nervous system and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest nervous system. Regular physical activity is excellent for your health in many ways, lowering blood pressure being just one. If you've been able to lower your blood pressure with one of these tips or something else that we didn't mention here, be sure to comment below. We love hearing from you and appreciate you sharing your personal insights. If you need personalized help and a plan to lower your blood pressure, check out our coaching services right here. And be sure to watch this video next on 5 ways insulin resistance causes high blood pressure, and this one on 20 foods to avoid if you have high blood pressure. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel because we release new videos each week on lowering insulin resistance, losing weight, and getting healthy.